Hey, folks, welcome. This is a live with Hard Education. My name is Rock, and today I have my guest Anthony here. Anthony is an entrepreneur extraordinaire, and he's here to share us his story of education and what he believes is the hard education, and also offer all you homeschoolers out there some valuable tips in order to make an income from home while you're homeschooling, because I know that's a very big issue
Yeah.
in the homeschooling community. So, Anthony, if you would like to introduce yourself and just maybe start with your educational journey.
What's up, Rock? How you doing? Thanks for having me on the podcast. It's super exciting.
Thank you.
Educational journey. That's a big one. So, of course, I went to traditional school. I went to elementary school, high school. But my true journey started when I figured out how much I didn't like school. For me, school was draining. It was boring. It didn't really catch my attention. So from there, I had to figure out what was the thing that kept my attention. So I got into entrepreneurship, right? And then I found more value doing self-education versus having the traditional school educate me, because I just did not get into the school. I just could not connect with teachers. So I think I was a very unique learner in a sense, and I still am. And thus far, it's just been self-education, just me putting out and finding things that interest me, because I firmly believe that you will go further in life. You will do more things if you learn things that interest you versus things that are forced upon you.
Okay. So with that, I guess we kind of answer some of the questions. So you mentioned that, the education system itself was not very interesting to you. What was about the system that just didn't catch your interest? Was it like the content, the people, the system itself, and you're talking to a school educator, so I've been in
Right.
this for 11 years. So I'm always curious as to, like, what's the other side of the story?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a good question. For me, it was more of the content. And most of the things that I was learning in school were things that just didn't interest me. And I think people really excel and thrive when they learn things that interest them. And it was more the content, because the people I was in school with, the teachers, they were all good, but I guess they were locked up into a system where they had to show in certain things. Probably like yourself, right? You have to teach according to the guidelines that the school district set forth, right? Put in place. So um, it was more of the content, me learning history, me learning, algebra and trigonometry, and me learning Spanish. Things didn't do it for me because there was no interest. And I think in order for people to learn and excel, they have to, one, have an interest in what they're doing, and then two, have people to come alongside them and help push them and motivate them. Because in school, I didn't get good grades. I didn't. And instead of the schooling and teachers trying to find out, hey, what interests Anthony, what can help him do better, I was more penalized for not getting those good grades. I would get F's and D's, and maybe C's. And to me, that was demotivating, right? Because instead of having someone encourage me, I was more discouraged because of the progress that I was not getting, and that did not help me, become a better student in school.
Yeah, so it sounds like it's more about so it sounds like to me it's about the way the system was set up, right? And maybe there was just things that didn't really interest you, or most of what you were learning sounded like it wasn't of interest to you. Like, why am I learning how to write a book report? Or why does this? Did the question ever occur to you, like, why am I learning this, right? Like, what does this have to do with my life? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I mean, the only subject I liked was PE, because I was an athlete. I did basketball, football, and track. And I don't think the question ever was like, why am I doing this? But it's more like, what's the point of doing this, right? And I guess it's the same question, because I find it pointless. I mean, I personally find it pointless to go out there and and do something that I feel that I would never use. I mean, I've never used history. I've never used algebra. I mean, honestly, in math, I have this thing now. So, I can just pop in, the equation on my iPhone and I get everything I need. So I never really saw the point of it. I mean, and that's just me personally. And again, it did not help me excel, right? It showed me exactly what I didn't want out of my life, right? And I didn't want to be included in a system that told me, hey, in order to do this, you have to be successful. Because what I say as far as school now is just an institution that really wants you to go out there and memorize stuff, right? And I found no success in that at all, right?
Okay, yeah. It's interesting because you touch upon something that I've been really interested, that I just been studying myself. So the word education, right, has this root meaning of, from Latin root, it means to draw from within, right? So to draw
Okay.
from like what you're in yourself, which is very interesting because everything you said is like, oh, they want you to memorize things. School systems like all about, like there's this progress. Like you got to learn this at this certain point, this at a certain point, and then we move on to this other thing. What is your belief on what education means beyond just the school system? What does it mean to like learn from within? Like the self-education that you mentioned is very interesting, and I would could you care to like just kind of explain a little bit more in detail?
So when we say learn from within, I feel that everyone has a gift, everyone has a mission, everyone has a message, and I sometimes think that the message that we're giving, our path, is muffled by people telling us what we have to do, what we have to learn, and what their definition of success is. That everybody's definition of success is different, right? And the school system tells you that you have to get A's and B's and C's to be successful. You have to go here and you have to get A's and B's in elementary school, in junior high school, middle school, college, high school, whatever. And that's deemed successful. And what I found is that most of the people who did self-education are the ones who are really making, if success is if money is your level of success, then let's use that. The people that are making the most money are the ones who are self-educated and then really thrive in the school system, right? And so for me, the only way school applies is that if you have a specialized skill, like of course a doctor or a lawyer or an anesthesiologist, those are things that you need to get education in, right? But if you're just going just to be smarter and excel to the next level, I believe that self-education is important because school only goes so far, right? You only do so much, and I think that a lot of people felt in that system because they're not taught to thrive, right? They're taught to do this or you're a failure, do that or you're a failure. Thriving is not encouraged. It's encouraged to read this book that's about 40 years old about people that you should know about, but people who cannot make your life better right now, versus going and get a self-help book on finance, on real estate, on e-commerce, on whatever, right? So I think that people should listen to the voice that's within saying, hey, this is for me or this is not for me. And then at that point, then they can further their education and be bigger, better, and smarter.
So something that is interesting, and I think you and I are probably last generation to have like, wood shop, auto shop, home ec classes. Do you feel like that was more, I don't know if you had those. I know when I was in school, auto shop was literally taught from a textbook. It wasn't even like people repairing cars anymore. It was just, here's a textbook. And so a lot of people just took it as a joke class almost. What was your experience with those kind of like career technical education? Because that's kind of coming back, at least where I'm teaching, and I really like it. And that's why I'm still big reason why I'm still in the school system is like, man, like my whole district is really supportive of those kind of like, you're learning a skill and kids are getting certifications in high school, right? Like, I know the auto shop, for example, they're getting Snap-on tool certification. So it's like Snap-on's a major tool provider for, mechanics. And so they're certified saying, we know how to use these tools from high school. And so when they go apply to be like a mechanic or intern at an auto shop, they're way ahead of their peers because they have a legitimate industry certification saying, I know how to use these tools. Like you throw me in a situation with these tools, I got you.
Yeah.
Right. And that's I think that's a great start. Is that something that you feel maybe the system can work on, or what is something that, positive that you feel like the school system did right, I guess?
Yeah. And that's a good point. And the biggest thing is that the traditional school system, they put you into their system, not caring or not worrying about what you want to do, right? In a sense. So I like the fact that these schools are now starting to have these specialized skill departments, right? Because now people can try different things and figure out, okay, I like this. Because if they like that, they'll put more into what they're doing, right? So wood shop, production classes, video classes, shop, and all that I think is good because it gives that student the ability to try different things. Well, if I can try, wood shop, and I can try video production, and I can try auto mechanic, if I can try culinary cooking, if I can try all the things and then figure out what I want. And then, okay, now I figured out, what, I like to fix cars. Now I can double down on that and then make that something that I put everything into. And in doing that, I become better, right? And doing that, I'm doing something that I like. Because honestly, Rock, most people who go through the school system come out of that with educations, with degrees, with debt, but also doing things that they don't like, right? They're forced to to be a lawyer, forced to be a paralegal, forced to be a teacher because that's what they think is success. So if the schools gave students more the ability to try different things and then they can choose what they want, then I think that's amazing. Because if you look at these secondary schools, that focus in on key professions, that's where I see the most success at.
Yeah, so it's this mindset of like, it's asking the children, like, what do you want to create, right? It sounds like you want the children to know, like, from the get-go, like, what they want to create. And it's okay to explore. Like, it's fine when you're younger, especially, when you're younger, to like, hey, let's try out this woodwork. Let's try out auto shop. Maybe you love that stuff. Yeah, you want to give them options instead of just, here's your 4 basic courses, here's your PE class, and you get 1 elective. Or maybe 2 if you're lucky.
Right.
Yeah, because I remember I had typing class. I was like, I know it helps, obviously, but okay, cool. I can type on keyboard. Awesome.
It definitely helps, but trying these things tells you exactly what you want to do, right? And then also what you don't want to do, because if you try all these different things, you get to rule out everything that does not keep your attention, things that don't keep you excited. And I firmly believe that we should all do things that keep us excited, right? Do things that we want to do, because that's how we create what we want. It's by doing things that we want to do, right? Versus doing things that society says do. It's a big difference.
Yeah. So is this like the message you would say to your children, maybe, or your employees, to believe, like, what does education mean? Like, now that we're out of, like, let's say stepping outside, just looking beyond just the school system, what is the message you want to give to your, like, children or to future generations, perhaps, about education? What does it mean? What is it like? Because we can't predict the future, right? Like, we don't know what future jobs look like, what the market look like, whether, jobs that are once considered secure, like, shoot, even my job as a teacher currently, there's no guarantee that it's going to be there in 20, 30 years, right? Like, no one's guaranteeing that, honestly.
Right. Yeah. Well, education is very, very important. And I tell my kids, it's not that I want you to get straight A's in school. But what school does is that it does teach some level of discipline, right? It does teach some level of responsibility. And that's the thing that I want them to bring home, because I'm not against school, right? What I'm against is people not creating the life that they want, right? And if they can go to school and learn and take what they learn, just like find something that's useful for them in school, like the discipline, like, showing them how to be structured. That stuff works, right? But take that and then put that into what they want to create, right? And for me, that's what school is lacking is saying, hey, student Rock, student Anthony, I know, what do you want out of your life? Forget what, society says, forget what I'm saying. Tell me what you want, and then take the school structure and fit it into what they want instead of vice versa, right? Because a big thing that I don't like at school is that they're showing us how to fit into society. They're showing us the rules that society set forth, right? And that doesn't always fit into someone's dreams and goals. A lot of people, they're only like 10% of people in this world who are doing the things that they actually want to do. I love what they do. And that's because we're trained to do things a certain way, go to school and be done and get good grades and get a good job, right? That's what we're taught in school. So my message to my kids is, hey, use what they're teaching you and then take that and implement it into what you want to do. Create the life that you want, but still use the discipline and the tools that the school is using you, is teaching you.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see here. So, let's now get into, like I said in the beginning, in the title of this podcast, right? Is, how can we make an income while homeschooling, and just a little background is, I am a public school teacher, and but I think my journey with the homeschooling aspect is just seeing that, like it's everything you said. It's like homeschooling allows you to have that creativity and that flexibility to learn what you want, especially since you're at home, you can learn whatever you want, and if there's something that interests you, you can really focus on that. So and the thing is, like, a lot of parents, right, and I've seen this a lot on the Facebook groups and stuff, is like, man, I don't know how to create income because you're at home with the kids and you're homeschooling. That means essentially you're down from maybe a 2-income household to a 1-income household, right? And so I have you here as an entrepreneur and someone who's an expert on this stuff, so I would love to hear your just some like really practical advice, right? Like you talk about, like we got to give people skills, right? What are some practical things that you feel like any kind of homeschool parent, whether they're mom or dad, that they can right now today just start something that can potentially help them generate income so that they can have the choice and freedom, right? You're not against public school, and obviously I'm in the system, and I see some pros still, right, with like the CT courses and whatnot. I really like that option for the students, because when I tell the students that, they're like, wait, you can earn $18 an hour just being an intern for an electrician? Sign me up. They love that. They're like, okay, cool, I'll learn and get paid. Like, I love that more than going to college. And that's one of the messages I tell my kids is like, you don't have to go to college to be successful. You just have to know what you want, right?
You just need to. School gives you the options, right? The options to go out there and do what you want, right? So one thing. So if there's a homeschool parent who's thinking about starting and make some more money, is figure out what you want to do. I am a believer that you can make money from your passion. So, and if it's not your passion, figure out what you want to do. That's the first step, right? Figure out and ask yourself. And the question is, what do I want to create, right? What is it? So once you do that, then we live in a world now where everything is online. You can go on Google, you can go on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and learn anything about anything, right? So whatever it is that you want to do, decide what it is. Secondly, commit to it, right? Commit to it, and then go educate yourself. There are books on Amazon. You can go on YouTube. You can go on Google, and then start looking at what you want to do. And really just just give me an example of like a home parent that wants to do what, right? And then from there, I give you some more practical advice.
Okay, so let's say like a homeschool mom's at home. They love looking at Etsy for like decorations or whatever, because they're at home a lot, right? And so that's like their thing. Like they love decorating, they love maybe bargain hunting, right? Maybe going to like the thrift stores. Could that be something like what they're interested in, right? Let's just it doesn't even have to be like their passion. Because I feel like the word passion, right, means you're willing to die for something, right? Like passion of the Christ. Means like you're willing to suffer for something. And I think a lot of people think, oh, passion's like this emotion, like I love my sports team, you know, whoo, rah, rah, you know.
Right.
But passion really implies like to me, that's just my personal thing.
Of course.
But to get back to the question, right? It's so like Etsy, let's say, you know, bargain hunting, maybe looking around garage sales, you know, and like that, how could I turn that into something that could potentially help me generate like an income, right? To at least say, hey, I can stay at home with my kids, you know, and my spouse goes to work. So go ahead.
Right. So that's a good one. So if I think that I found that most stay-at-home moms they're very creative, right? So with Etsy, one of the biggest industries right now is part supplies, right? People are always having parties. People are always looking for decorations and invitations and T-shirts, and with that you can sell on Etsy. So there's just a machine called a Cricut, right? Cricut costs from $200 to $300, right? You can probably find a used on OfferUp. So on the Cricut, what you can do is that you can go and you can create custom invitations for parties, for weddings, for bar mitzvahs, for graduation, anything, right? You can go and create those on Etsy. On the Cricut, and post them on Etsy for people to buy, right? So, and also to get an advantage, you can run Etsy ads where you can put in $20, $30, $50 to have most of the traffic come to your Etsy page. And then you make money from selling your custom design invitations to people who love parties. Parties is a huge industry, right? And like even right now, after this podcast, or while you're listening, while you're watching, pop on Etsy and look up party invitations, right? And you will see a various amount of people who are selling invitations, right? Now, you will see that there's a lot, but you can rise above that by running some Etsy ads to your direct page. Okay, so one is Etsy. The second one is, like you said, garage sales, right? So people at garage sales sell things for pennies on dollars, right? So an example, years ago, I went to a garage sale and I purchased a book for 25 cents, right? I put that book on Amazon and sold for $45, right? I bought for 25 cents, right? So their garage sales every single Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You can go online and look up garage sales in your area. So at garage sales, you can buy and resell books. You can buy and resell baseball cards, stuffed animals, records, DVDs. These things are so undervalued that you can get them very, very cheap and then resell them on Amazon, on eBay, on OfferUp, on Mercari, on FFC Marketplace. So that's a little more labor intensive, but would you rather go to a garage sale, post something, and then go to the post office, or would you rather not have any money, right? Even though it's more work than actually doing the Etsy thing, you can still make money doing that and still make money while being at home with your kids, right? So a friend of mine went to a thrift store and bought a set of speakers for I think it was like $450. He sold them on OfferUp for $600, right? So there's so much you can do.
Yeah, and that's a very low cost investment. Well, mine's gas money these days, but a thought that's kind of getting in my mind. I feel like a lot of these things that you like, the two examples which I love, I feel like you can get your kids involved. That's a skill that your kids can learn too. Like, why not just take your kids to garage sale on Saturday and that's like their math class, right? How do you like? It's like math combined with like business skills, because you're bargaining with the people, right? The garage sales. Hey, if I get like a whole box of these books right off your hands, can I just buy them all for bulk price? Like, instead of like, $1 each book, let's just do like 50 cents each book, because I'm buying a whole box of books, right? And then you look through it, or you have like, maybe they'll do some research ahead of time, right? With your kids. Like, what are some valuable books that are people don't think they're valuable? Or, that edition or that special edition DVD of Star Wars, like, that's a big deal. People might miss.
Yeah, is definitely huge to me. And you brought up a good point. Gas, right?
Yeah.
Gas is expensive, and then there can be a two-parent household, but there's only one car. Say the
Mm-hmm.
mom or dad takes the car, to work every day, and then hey Anthony, right? I can't get to a garage sale. I mean, I can't do it. I can't get to Joanne's or Michael's to buy my supplies. So I'll offer you this. There's something called retail arbitrage. Okay, so what that is that Target, Walmart, Amazon, they always have a clearance option. Okay, so for example, you can go to Walmart.com, look under their clearance options, and this stuff is like discount. It's clearance, right? So you can order it online, have it shipped to your house, and then you can post that back onto Amazon at full retail price. Right? You can go to Target and do the same thing. You can go to Amazon. Amazon has what's called the deal of the day, right? So they can have these AirPods. Like today, they're 50% off, right? You can buy 4 or 5 or 10 pair, however much your budget is. You can buy one pair of those. So today, if you buy Amazon, they're half off. They're $100, right? But tomorrow, they're back to the same price. So what you did is that you bought it for half off on that day, and then when it comes, you put it back on Amazon for the retail price, and then you made money, right? So you can do a lot by just ordering stuff to your house and then having it shipped off, right? You can go on Walmart and you can. There are people right now literally going on Walmart and finding a product, posting that product on Facebook Marketplace. Then someone orders it, and then they drop ship it from Amazon. I'm sorry, from Walmart or Amazon, right? So there's a lot that you can do even if you have a car or don't have a car.
Wow. Yeah, I never even thought about, like if you don't even have a car. Yeah, thank you for catching that, because I was like, wow, this is also assuming like you have a car, right? Like the two. Well, yeah, and it's funny because like you mentioned cricket, because like this shirt that my wife made, right? She made it with cricket actually, and that's perfect.
Really? Okay.
That's a perfect example. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like she just made it for me because that's my handle on most of my social media.
Right.
Rock the stem. So that was wow, awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a straight up business right there. Straight up.
Yeah. It is.
It's really just being resourceful. It sounds like.
And knowing being resourceful and then learning how to do it. Right. I mean, that's the thing. It's like there's a knowledge gap. The people that get paid the most money is that because they provide more value to the marketplace, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you want to make more money, provide more value, right?
Right.
And if you're doing things that people don't know or can't do, then they pay you for your expertise, right?
Mm-hmm.
So figure out what it is that that someone else doesn't know, package it and sell it right from your own home.
Yeah, so it sounds like that could be applied almost to like something like cooking, right? Like if people don't know how to cook, create a course. Go to is it Udemy or like what's a good one for people who want to create their own kind of package a course like their knowledge?
Yeah, you got Udemy, you got Gumroad, but the best one for that is by Udemy. Yeah.
Okay, so creating your own course, right? Yeah, on just about pretty much anything, right? Shoot, even how to sew, how to cook,
anything. Yeah,
train your dog.
How to do? I mean, even what you're doing now is that, I mean, a homeschool mom could create a TV show, a podcast about being a homeschool mom, about the things that she goes through every day by being a homeschool mom, and then monetize that. People like to have a glimpse into other people's lives. Like how do you do it? How do you maintain it? How do you juggle being a homeschool mom, a wife? I mean, how do you do it? So just give people a glimpse into what you're doing and into your life really can help you make money.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it sounds like to me, Anthony, what you're encouraging the audience is like, hey, just be creative, like think about your hobbies, think about things that you just do daily and find a way to, have people pay you for it. Right. And then what it sounds like to me is like, you're saying you got to value what you have first, right? That little shopping addiction you have, it could be an actual money maker, right?
Right.
Like don't feel guilty. Just it's about valuing like your knowledge, right? The good deals. You know how to find things online for cheap.
Yeah.
Well, that's a skill that not everyone, has a time or money to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I
You know.
mean, and listen, I mean, we're in the creator economy, right? I mean, right now you're either going to create something or be left behind. It's the
Mm,
economy. And just another example is that I have a friend who she loves to shop for travel deals, travel discounts. I mean, she spends hours looking for travel discounts, around the world. And
mm,
what she does is that she finds these travel deals, and then she sells them retail to her friends and family, right? So she does all the research, she does all then she sells the package at a higher rate. So now she makes money on that, all right? And it's just being creative, right?
mm,
And if you can be creative and you can think outside the box and you find a way to solve a problem, then that's where you make money.
mm. Wow, I didn't. Wow, okay, that did not even know because I know travel agency. My aunt was a travel agent until very well, not too recently, but it's been a while.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
yeah,
industry is gone, right? Because of like websites like Kayak and you know,
yeah,
this, all these like travel websites, right? Airbnb,
yeah,
Booking.com, all these things are
yeah,
like, yeah. So it's
yeah,
finding like, so sometimes it's using a major platform like you said, like Amazon, eBay, right,
yeah.
to do these things. Sometimes it's just shoot, offer up, you know.
Yeah, offer up. I mean, just use YouTube and go and look up retail arbitrage. Go look up how to sell on OfferUp. Go look at
Mm-hmm.
how to make invitations on Cricket. Just use YouTube. YouTube is free, right? Go there and you can learn so much. That'll get you started. And then after you get started and after you make some money, find out what you like, and then from there double down and then invest in a mentor that will help you excel and scale that to the next level.
Mm. So mentioning mentors, right, Anthony? I believe you've created some things to help people. Right? I find it really cool and awesome and redeeming that, like you said, oh, I don't like that cheat system, but here you are, I believe, creating courses, right, that help
Right,
people do exactly what you just said, like being creative
right,
and creating, like you said, creative economy is like, how can I take what I know, right, and package it in a way that people want to like see value in it and buy, because time is
right,
money, right? If you're
right,
saving people
right.
money, excuse me, if you're saving people time, they will pay you for those things,
Of
right? That's
course,
just like your
of
your
course.
friend, the travel agent person. Like, I'm
Right,
saving you
right,
time, so
right.
you're paying me to basically save your time. You don't have
Yeah,
to look up all the deals, spend hours. I've done that for you already.
yeah, yeah. And that's all courses are, right? Because I mean, everything that any mentor can teach you
Mm-hmm.
is you can Google and find it, right? But
Correct.
but but what we did was that we found everything and we packaged it up for you. So you're not going to YouTube, to Google, to Facebook, to wherever, right? It's all found for you and packaged up, and now here it is on a platter, right?
Mm.
That's what we do is that everything that you want to know is already packaged for you, and like you said, it saves you time and research and combing through all the BS in a sense, and here's all the good stuff that's here for you. So that's what we do, and that's the purpose of course, because honestly, even going back to traditional school, right? In seventh grade, if they're teaching history, well, now today you can go and Google the different parts of history that you want to know. But the difference is that these books are just packaged together, right?
Mm.
And then handed to you. Say, here's everything that you need to know, right? Same thing with teaching, same thing with courses, right? It's the same thing.
Mm. Right. Yeah. Because like you said, you're offering people free things, and then here we are saying, oh, by the way, if you don't want to spend the time, right? Because
Yeah,
like we said, like, and this is something I want to really emphasize to my audience is like, when you create something of value, right, people will pay you because they see
yeah,
perceived value,
right,
right? If you're saying, hey, I'm saving you time, what do you value
yeah,
more? Time with your
yeah,
kids,
yeah,
right? Or
yeah,
spending hours doing what I do for you already,
yeah,
right? It's the same thing like at restaurants, right? Like, why do people pay more money for food at restaurants? Well, because someone's cooking it for you.
right,
You sit down,
right,
you order,
exactly,
right,
exactly,
and you're done. You don't
right,
gotta clean dishes. You don't gotta do anything else. They bring the
yeah,
food to you, right,
paying
in
for the
an atmosphere
convenience,
that
yeah,
hopefully is clean and nice,
yeah,
right, nice ambiance maybe. And that's really what you're paying for is the experience and also the time saved, right? All
right,
you're doing is
right,
eating. You're just enjoying the food,
right.
right? And so yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, so where can like my audience find you, like the course you created, and can you kind of give us like maybe an overview of what the courses look like?
Can you hear me? Because I actually lost you.
Oh, can you hear me now? Hello?
No, my video is off. Can you
Oh,
can you hear me? Can you see me?
yeah, I can hear. I can still hear you. Yeah, we can still hear you. It's all good.
Wonder why that video went off. Give me one quick second.
All right, no problem. Yeah. So, folks, if you have any questions, anything you want to know, maybe Anthony can, if you want another example, we can probably help you live with it. All right. So hopefully, let's see here. All right, there you go. Problem solving.
Problem solving. That's what you problem solving. I'm sorry. What was the question? The question that you
Yeah.
had?
Well, so basically, like, what are the? Can you give us an overview of the products you offer to people to help them like save time and really just get to the good part, which is making money, of course.
Oh wow, it's a lot. So one of my biggest background is in real estate, right? So what I do is that I show people how they can make money in real estate without having any cash, having any credit, because again, it's traditional, right? It's traditional. If you want to buy a house or sell a house, you need to have cash or credit. So I show people a concept called wholesaling, right? And I walk them through the process of how they can find a house, they can find a homeowner, get a property under contract without any cash or credit, and then they can sell that and make some money. I also teach people how to make money from home. In wholesaling, you can do that, but also drop shipping, right? So it's called e-commerce. So e-commerce is that you set up your own website like a Amazon, like a Walmart.com, and you sell your products to the consumers. But the kick is that these products are products that you do not have to have inventory in, right? So if someone buys from your website, then what you do is that you buy from a supplier and have the supplier ship that product right to the consumer. That way you don't have to have a ton of inventory in your spare room, in your garage. It's not that. And next, I teach people how to actually run paid traffic. So if you have a product, if you have an Etsy account, whatever, I show you how you can target people who want what you have to offer, and then they buy directly from you. And it's a more qualified customer because you're putting that ad in front of them on their phone, but they have an interest in what you have to sell, right? So those are like my top three, and I have several coming out, right? So those are the ones that are doing the best right now.
Okay, great. Yeah. So where can they find these things?
So
the website?
Yeah. So what I can do is that I can definitely send you over a link. They're mainly hosted on Gumroad, but you can go to my Instagram. It's Anthony E Rudolph, and I have a link in my bio that it links you to all of the courses, right, where you can go and check them out. So it's at Anthony E Rudolph, RUDOLPH, and then you can click the link in the bio, and then you'll see all the courses that I have to offer.
Okay, and this is on Instagram, right? So,
Instagram, right?
Okay,
Instagram.
Cool. Yeah, I just want to make sure my audience can find you if they want the courses. But thank you so much for being on here and giving
You're welcome.
Everyone valuable tips. I feel I learned a lot about retail arbitrage in different ways. And it sounds like the message just it's just being creative. All right. Yeah. Absolutely.
That's the message. You're welcome.
One last question, Andy, before we get off.
Sure.
The title of the podcast, right, is The Heart of Education. So to you, what is like the vision of the heart of education? What is really the heart of education?
So for me, the heart of education is really following your heart, right? Following what your gut tells you, because it's very, very rare that your gut and your heart will actually lie to you, right? So if you feel that you're led to be in a certain industry, led to be in a certain career, follow that. Whether it's traditional or whether it's non-traditional, right? Follow exactly what you want to do, and refrain from letting people dictate your path or talk you into doing something that you don't want to do, because you find success, you find joy, you find happiness, you find you're resilient in doing things that really make you smile, that really help people. So whatever it is that you want to do, just do it. And for me, education is based on your heart, on how you feel, on where you personally want to go, right? People can always give their opinion on what you should be doing, but at the end of the day, it's up to you, right? So just follow your heart, follow your dream, follow your goals, and always, whatever you get into, always ask yourself, is this what I want to create for my life, right? But the first question is, what do you want to create for your life, right? So you do that, and I think you have an amazing journey.
All right, great. Thank you so much for coming on, and I
You're
really
welcome.
appreciate that. Yeah, thank you for answering the last question because that's always a question I'm always curious about. Thank you so much, Anthony.
You're
All right,
very
pleasure
welcome,
having you
brother.
on.
We'll talk to you
All right,
soon. Okay.
all right,
Bye-bye.
bye.